What's up, YouTube? Welcome back. In this video, I'm going to talk about Van Jones and his co-parenting partner and the situation that they have in regards to raising their daughter. For those of you who don't know, Van Jones, political commentator, he recently had a daughter with a friend of his. And I'm going to read an article that explains, their situation, and I'm going to give my thoughts and opinions as I go, and as well, after I finish, I'll dive into some more commentary. But before I do that, I just want to give a quick disclaimer that, I personally don't have anything against Van Jones. Van Jones is allowed to be with who he wants to be with and allowed to live his life as he wants, so long as it's within the confines of the law. And he seems like a nice person who just wants everyone to get along. And I admire what he has been able to accomplish and build for himself. So with that being said, let's jump into this article. So this comes from TMZ.com. Y'all know TMZ always gets the dirt. But the name of the article is Van Jones, I have a new baby with my friend, conscious co-parenting, 3 exclamation points. Here we go. Van Jones is taking progressive to a new level. The activist and CNN commentator is a proud new dad. Well, he's already a dad, so he's not a new dad. And he and the baby's mother just might inspire a new movement in parenting. Notice that they're calling this woman the baby's mother and not the baby mama. Notice that. When black men are making non-black women, especially white women, baby mamas, it's, the baby's mother, the mother of the child, the mother of the baby. Nah, she a baby mama too. So Van tells TMZ, quote unquote, after the COVID lockdown, I got clear. Shouldn't it be it got clear? But I got clear that I wanted another kid. I'm thinking it should be it got clear that I wanted another kid, but whatever. I discovered that my friend, Nomi, also wanted a baby. I'm thinking that's how you pronounce her name. So we decided to join forces and become conscious co-parents. It's a concept that I hope more people will explore and consider. And I feel like I've seen this kind of like on TV, where it's like on the episode of like Friends or something, where it's like, oh, if by this age none of us has a kid and we're not in a relationship or something, we'll have a kid together. And that's like the deal. Something like that. And, different strokes for different folks. I ain't judging nobody, I feel like something like this could work for some people. But, I feel like, maybe I'm reaching here, but I do feel like if this was like Eve or Serena Williams or Tamron Hall, Jodie Turner-Smith, etc., I feel like if they were doing something like this, people wouldn't be so nonchalant about it, especially in the community. Basically, it'd just be all like, oh, you a baby mama. Oh, you a bad wench. Oh, you a bad wench, baby mama. Oh, I guess that white boy ain't want to marry you, huh? Oh, you thought the grass was greener on the other side, didn't you? Ha ha ha. See, black women, nobody wants you. Nobody wants to put a ring on your finger. You have passed the danger zone. You will die alone, black woman. Ah ha 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 ha. But maybe I'm reaching with that, though. But back to this. So Van Jones continues, quote unquote, this month we welcome to Earth a baby girl whom we will raise as co-parenting partners. I guess that's what we calling it now. This is a special time for our families. I feel grateful, joyful, and blessed. I bet you the baby mama, feels grateful, joyful, and blessed too, because, she got access to Van Jones' money. So the article goes on to say, now sources connected to Van tell us that the mother's full name is Nomi Zalakona, and they've been friends through a shared interest in criminal justice advocacy for several years. I wonder if this criminal justice advocacy is extending to Black women. Just wondering. In fact, we're told that their decision to have a child together was literally made over a friendly meal. Oh boy. You know what they say about friends in need. Oh boy. That's where we're at. That's where we're at now. Making permanent life decisions here over a friendly meal. Yeah. What was the meal? I'm just wondering, what was the meal? Was it like Chinese food, Mexican food, Italian food, German food, Japanese food, like some sort of Caribbean or African food? Probably not. Van Jones was having none of that. But I wonder what the food was. One source describes Nomi and Van's current relationship this way. It's a very modern arrangement. Is it really? They're not a couple, but they are a team that wants to raise a kid together. Okay, so we got a baby mama and a baby daddy wanting to raise a kid together who are not together in a relationship. Is that really something that's very groundbreaking? Van Jones has two children from his previous marriage, and we're told that this is Naomi's first. In a statement, Van adds, quote unquote, as we create a safe and loving environment for this blessed young soul, I respectfully ask for privacy. Thank you for all the love and support. After I've shared all this on social media and have given interviews and quotes, please respect our privacy. Oh boy. No word on the baby girl's name yet, but we're really wondering if either Van or Nomi plan to trademark quote unquote conscious parenting. It's 2022, y'all. Just saying. So that's the end of the article, and perhaps they should trademark conscious co-parenting. I mean, hey, I guess you need that money, Van, for them child support payments you're going to be making. Because he did say that this was all done over a friendly meal. So I'm thinking like, yeah, y'all probably got the baby part down, but did y'all get the legal financial part of this down? Or is that just something that's, you're going to cross that bridge when you get to it? Because unless Van is already paying her a good amount of money, you already know that homegirl going to go to the courts. And she has a right to go to the courts too. She has his kid. So I'm just saying. But that's the article though. And now I'm going to get into more of my commentary about this. So, Van Jones out here just being a straight up Pookie and Ray Ray, thugging in these streets, getting women pregnant, making them baby mamas all over the place. Obviously, Van Jones is not a Pookie Ray Ray, which goes to show you that it ain't just the Pookie and Ray Rays making baby mamas out here. The educated brothers out here making baby mamas too. The Joshuas, the Jonathans, the Roberts, they make baby mamas too. Not just the Tyrones, the Tyquariuses, the Glocktavius. This is not just them. So with all that being said, will we shame Van Jones in the streets like we did Rihanna, or are doing Rihanna? Some of us, not all of us. And nah, I just don't think that's going to happen. But, a bit of a sidebar right quick though, Van Jones, 53 years old. And say what you want about Van Jones, but hey, that black don't crack though. That good black don't crack. Hey, at least we can say that, right? At least we can give him that. No matter if you are the super pro black brother, the super coonerific wild coon on the loose brother, or somewhere in between, melanin still works for you. But let's get back to business though. So for those of you who don't know, Van Jones actually received a $100 million grant from Jeff Bezos. And that's a whole lot of money. And I believe his grant is supposed to be used for basically criminal justice advocacy, right? I believe him, and also I believe maybe Kim Kardashian have been kind of working together to get people who were wrongly imprisoned out of prison, which is a good cause, which is a good cause. I ain't saying it's a bad cause. I ain't saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying. But I do view Van Jones as being more or less like a multiculturalist with perhaps a little bit of quote unquote pro-black seasoning. And I think that, Van Jones, he just wants us to all get along. And I do think that in this world that we live in, I do think there is room for, multiculturalism for those who want it, right? Just as there's room, or should be room, for pro-blackness for those who want it. But I do wonder about Van Jones' advocacy and how far does it extend? Basically, where I'm getting at is, does his advocacy extend to black women? Because when someone, especially a black man, is pro-black or pro-black adjacent and, doing, advocacy work and social justice work on the behalf of black people, it often tends to be more so centered around black men. And oftentimes it skips over black women. And I'm very suspicious of someone, whether male or female, whose advocacy consistently skips over black women and they're claiming to be pro-black, or either they are pro-black adjacent. That is a major red flag. Especially if, it's like a black man in an interracial relationship. Like, say, Byron Allen. He was coming out saying like, oh, they discriminating against me because they don't want me to get a Weather Channel here. And then he get the Weather Channel and it's like channel number 500, 600, 700 or something like that. Then you got milk dud face Shannon Sharp out here and his advocacy too. And again, it tends to center around black men's issues. Not saying that he cannot advocate for black men's issues because he's a black man. But what I'm getting at is that oftentimes this, pro-black advocacy or pro-black adjacent advocacy from dudes, black men in interracial relationships, ultimately it centers back to black men. It doesn't really involve black women all that much. And if it does, black women more so are getting the spillover effect of it. They are not the primary beneficiaries, and they are not intended to be the primary beneficiaries. While there are some black women who are in interracial relationships, full-blown interracial relationships, who do tend to engage in pro-black advocacy, and oftentimes their pro-black advocacy centers back to black men, oddly enough. And a bit of a sidebar right quick. You can, for black women out there, just because a black woman is in an interracial relationship, just because she's in an interracial relationship, it doesn't mean that she is exempt from being a black male identified mammy mule, quote unquote. And on the flip side, just because a black woman is in a intraracial relationship with a black man, it doesn't mean that she is a bona fide black male identified mammy mule. I just want to put that out there. All right. But back to Van Jones. Van Jones, he actually has a podcast. And the name of his podcast is called Uncommon Ground with Van Jones. And it does kind of center around bringing folks from different walks of life and from different beliefs and political beliefs together, and kind of shooting the breeze and talking about certain issues and things like that. Thus, centering back to like low-key multiculturalism. And I've listened to about 3 episodes. The first episode I listened to was with will.i.am from the Black Eyed Peas. The second episode that I listened to was with Van Jones' BFF, Meghan McCain. And the third episode I listened to was with Asian politician Andrew Yang. And it was interesting. It was all right. I guess for me, I'm a bit more used to kind of like YouTubers doing more or less podcasts and being a bit more politically incorrect, But it was okay. It was all right. I'm interested to hear his podcast with Kim Kardashian. I believe he's going to be doing a podcast with Kim Kardashian. So I'm interested to see what, Kim has to say about, I'm assuming, her criminal justice advocacy, and what Van Jones has to say about it as well. People were saying that, Van Jones and Kim Kardashian was going to get together. But then, folks was like, Kim out here and she ain't looking for a black man no more. She done removed her fillers from behind. And now she just like, she trying to get back in good with the white men. I wonder if Khloe Kardashian gonna do that or Kylie Jenner gonna do that. We shall see. One more thing I do want to mention before I end this video is that some people criticize Van Jones for, being teary-eyed and crying about Joe Biden being elected president and replacing Donald Trump. And, Van Jones was just feeling very emotional because perhaps he was putting on for the cameras too. Maybe, how some folks like to put on for the cameras and be a bit dramatic and stuff. But, maybe he was just happy that he felt like, civility has been restored and like everyone has an equal chance in America now and no one's going to be discriminated against. And Van Jones, he was happy for his white daddy, right? Now, y'all know now, if y'all white daddy was elected president of the United States, y'all would probably be teary-eyed too. If my white dad was elected president by like the voting public of the United States, I probably would be emotional too, y'all. I probably would be emotional too if I had a white dad. But I think I've said all that I have to say for the moment. So, thank you very much for watching. Feel free to let me know what you think about all this in the comments section below. Until the next video, adios and goodbye for now.